Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name's Emily, also known as Bear Claw. So please, feel welcome. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, but anyways, today I have a watercolor painting for you guys today, and I did a watercolor painting for two reasons. One was to get better at watercolor because I'm inexperienced with watercolors. My main mediums that I work in is Copic markers and colored pencils. So watercolor is kind of a new medium to me. I mean, I've been trying to use it, but I just want to get better at it because it's actually really fun to use if I knew how to use it properly. So anyways, that's what I'm working on in this video. Another thing that I'm working on here is landscapes, which is one thing I am not so good at either. I'm good at drawing the main focal point, which is usually my cartoon characters, but I just find drawing backgrounds for those cartoon characters really challenging. So that's what I'm doing in this video. And if you're wondering why there's a lot of cuts in between the video, is because this piece took me forever to do. It took way longer than my normal amount because usually videos take me like a picture. If I'm doing just a portrait of somebody, like a cartoon character, it'll take me like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and then I can usually shorten the video down, and then a full body character probably takes me around 45 minutes to an hour. This took me forever to do. So that is why there is a lot of jumps, because I have a editing limit that I can only go up to 15 minutes, and my videos only let me speed up 2 times as fast as they normally are. So that's why there's a lot of cuts, a lot of jumps. But basically this video was filmed over like I think a 5-day period where, no, that was how many days I filmed it, was 5 days, but it took me like a week to finish it, like on and off a week. So this is a piece that I've been working on for a very long time, and overall I'm very happy with how it turned out. But I can't explain everything that I did because it was a week ago and I don't remember anything. But anyways, what I'm trying to do for this scene is, this was a scene that I came up with in my head. It wasn't, I didn't get any reference photos, I didn't do anything, it was just this scene that I came up with. And there's this YouTuber that I've been watching that really inspired me to work more on my scenery backgrounds, which is Safara Lou. If you don't know who she is, she's an amazing artist here on YouTube. She does lots of very detailed scenic views also. But what I fell in love with were her mushroom hunters pictures, which she did a lot of scenic views with her cartoon characters, and that's something that I really wanted to learn how to do more of. So I decided to take on this challenge thing where I would try to do a more scenic view in watercolor, because she got me into the mood of doing watercolors. So she does a lot of watercolor pieces, and then I was like, now I'm in the mood to do watercolor. But basically, that's what I got the inspiration from. So if you don't know who she is, you should go check her out. She is amazing. She is so good at what she does. So anyways, now moving on to this piece, I wanted to create a very playful piece. And I wanted the background to be it'd take up more space than the actual character, whereas the character might be the main focal point. I wanted the background to be the largest area of it. So I didn't want a huge person right there in the front and then have a small background, because that's not really what I'm trying to do in this. I'm trying to do a big background so I can work on my scenic views for when I do other pieces. So one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning was the watercolors I'm using are actually extremely cheap. They're extremely cheap watercolors. I don't have a huge watercolor set. I don't have expensive watercolors. I don't even have like artist grade watercolors. I have cheap watercolors that I got from like Tiger. If you don't know what Tiger is, it's basically, it's not an art store. So that's where I got one set from. And then the other set I got for like $2 that came with like 12 colors. That it was a labeled Faber-Castell brand, but it's definitely a student grade, not like high school grade, it's like elementary student grade watercolors. So when it dries, it's very chalky, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta work with what you got to work with. So that's one thing that I'm looking to invest in the future, is a more expensive watercolor set, because I do think I'll continue doing more watercolor pieces, and so I just need to invest in a higher brand of watercolors. But basically what I'm doing here is just a girl on a swing with a field/forest scenic background. I don't really know. I was trying to go for a forest scene, but then it kind of turned into like a field scene, like a hilly field scene. So I don't know, with like a watercolor, with a watercolor in it. That, yeah, I meant to try to say, what is it? I meant to say waterfall. It came out watercolor. So, But anyways, I am working on a watercolor board, which are very nice. I would actually recommend them. It doesn't matter which brand you get, but I prefer these watercolor boards because they're very nice to work on, because you don't have to tape down your piece or anything, like your watercolor paper, because it is already taped to two sides of the board, which is why it's a watercolor board, and so you can paint directly on it and then take it off the block of watercolor paper, and it doesn't bleed through or nothing. So I like it. It's very nice. As for the watercolor paper I'm using, it's just whatever I could find and that I could afford. So it's nothing really expensive. It's actually pretty lightweight compared to watercolor paper. It's pretty cheap. Very affordable. It did, when I found that if I layered a lot of watercolor on top of it, it would start to become flaky and the paper would start to break apart. So again, not the best quality stuff. So, but recently, I forgot to mention this, but recently, as in like yesterday, I went out and bought some more professional grade watercolors and watercolor papers. That's because in the summer in July I am taking a watercolor class, a watercolor private lessons, so I can learn how to do watercolor, which is awesome and amazing. And she sent out this list that of the colors, well, of the supplies I need to get for the watercolor class. So I do have them, and yeah, they're really nice. I don't know how the watercolors work yet. I'm not, the hardest thing, I cannot use them until July, and we got them in June, and I'm like, why? Because I really want to use them. I've been trying to mind over matter this issue because I have this new set of watercolors, and I just want to sit down and use them, but I can't touch them until July, and I'm like, why? I think my first lesson's like July 10th, and I have to wait so long for them. But anyways, just a couple of announcements really quickly before the end of the video. One is I'm about to go on vacation, so there might be 1 week where I don't post a video. Either that, or I will pre-record a video and post it before I leave, so you'll have an extra video 1 week and no video the next week. I don't really know, because I'm gonna be gone on vacation for like 2 weeks, so I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do for that yet, but it just depends. I might do an extra video, or I might just leave it be and not do a video, or I might end up doing, if I'm really up to it, I might end up doing, wow, that was expert filming there. What I might do is I might film while I'm on vacation. I don't quite know yet, but that's what I'm looking at. So, but after the vacation, I'm planning on doing more videos, and then on top of that, I'm thinking of doing, depending on what I'm supposed to be doing for my watercolor class, I might do an end of the year, end of the lesson watercolor tour where I show you everything that I did during the watercolor class or lessons. So I might do that, but definitely by the end of July, I will post another watercolor painting or something so I can show you my progress. This is like the one before or anything. But yeah, also in the future, be looking for an art supplies haul. I'm planning on doing one of those because I got a lot of art supplies from my friends since I'm moving back to the States. I also got supplies for my watercolor class, so I will be doing a big art supplies haul probably for the next video. So anyways, back to the picture. I am now coloring in the girl, which I saved for last because at first I didn't know if I was actually going to include the girl. I started to do the background and I really loved how the scenic background was turning out, and I didn't know if I wanted to attempt to put a girl in there because I don't know if my cartoon style would really fit in with the background, but I decided to go ahead and do it because I thought it would add a nice playful touch to the piece, which yeah, I ended up really liking the girl. One thing I did not like though was I had an issue. I did this off camera because I filmed some bits and then I didn't film other bits, but off camera I inked a little bit of the girl's face because just to make it more legible, that you can understand that where the facial features are and everything. I accidentally went ahead and put on the inking outline before the watercolor dried, and it smeared the black ink all over her nose, and I went into panic mode, and I didn't record this. I didn't end up recording this bit. So basically I fixed it. I finally got it to fix. What I ended up doing is trying to like dab it off with like a tissue paper, and then I went on top of it with more of the skin color and then dab that off and to try and clear it up, and it did help for the most part. So then I had to redo the face a little bit, and then I waited for that to completely dry, and then I could still see a bit of where it bled off. So then I tried to take a white Jelly Roll pen and put it over it so it could hide it a little bit, which in the end I think it did turn out better than I thought it would for it, but it still looks a little bit weird. But I'm not gonna let it ruin the entire piece because I really do like the piece and it did take me forever, so that one little bit I can cope with. But anyways, yeah, another thing I decided not to do was I normally ink my drawings, but this time I decided not to ink it because I really liked how the loose look was turning out, and I didn't want to mess it up by inking it and then giving it an extremely cartoony look, even though the girl's quite cartoony. But anyways, that's what I was going for. But anyways, that's what I decided to do, and so so far I love how this piece turned out. I don't know, it's just very bright and colorful and very vibrant, and so I just really liked how it turned out. It's not the best thing that I've ever done, but it's not like, it turned out way better than I thought it was actually. But anyways, one thing that I did do off camera was I did the tops of the trees. I did off camera. Basically what I just did is I used a stippling motion and just like dabbed the paper really hard with the paintbrush, which probably you shouldn't do. But anyways, that's what I did to get sort of like leaves. Not very much. I still need to work on that. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!